Hola, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday, February 10th. Welcome to 321 No Kiddin. Bobby the Awesome here. Our inspirational calendar that mom got us is cute. I love that it says this. My glass is not half full. It's overflowing. I'd love to apply that to our bucket, right? That bucket I'm always talking about that I imagine in our guts, that I want overflowing with positivity instead of drama and nonsense. Okay, now for the real reading. Here we go. And I'll warn you, tomorrow I'll be back with you more live. So you get to hear all about my trip tomorrow morning or tomorrow whenever I post. You know what I mean. Next show. All right, here goes. February 10th. The more balanced our lives, the more serene we feel, said Ian Smith. Recovery is a balancing act. As we begin to grow and change, we find that balance is a key opening the door to serenity. In our old using days, we lived on the edge and had become disaster experts. Major areas of our lives seemed to be in constant flux. We had disturbed relationships, little or no spirituality, poor emotional and physical health, and trouble with money. Today, our world is changing. We are coming to value and cherish our serenity and honesty. When one of our major life areas is out of balance, we find that we pay attention. We're beginning to see patterns, and through these patterns, a new hope for real, lasting change. By the grace of God, we seem to be losing our high tolerance for confusion and uncertainty. Every new day, our newfound knowledge about ourselves and our spiritual guidance are working together to change our lives. Today, help me to find the middle ground and take time I need to find balance. Wow, balance. There's definitely a big difference for me for balance the way life used to be to balance now. And it definitely has to do with my recovery. However, I would say that my recovery has given me the gift to balance my life in ways that I guess I wouldn't have thought of before. And what's coming to mind is before I went to treatment, work would have been my priority. Well, before I went to treatment, gambling would have been my priority. But I would have probably ranked it in the order of gambling, then work, and somewhere lower. I mean, closer to the time of going in, closer to the time going in, health and wellness would have been way down there, right? I wasn't taking care of myself physically, and I definitely wasn't taking care of the money. And I think when I moved back here and I accepted the job, I had to come into it with some sort of a routine or boundaries so that there would be balance. And what I mean is there was groups. I was supposed to go to group 3 nights a week, or 3 times a week when I first got back, but I had Zumba one of the nights, which is a perfect example of trying to figure out the balance. I told my counselor I can't come 3 times a week. I go to Zumba, and Zumba was part of my self-care. And, health and wellness was part of what I needed to focus on, as well as recovery, as well as fixing my finances, as well as doing a good job at work. And when I first got back, my boss she knew what I was capable of. And she had been alone for a while, and she wanted to just have me fix everything overnight. And I could have worked really long days and hours. And in the beginning, there was a stretch of like almost 30 days straight that I worked, and I was in there on the weekends and doing all those things. And I had to stand up for myself and create that balance. Otherwise, I would have had a meltdown. I would have put myself at risk for continuing to gamble to deal with the stress. So that balance is really crucial to us living our best lives and protecting our recovery. Because if we're not taking care of all the different puzzle pieces, something's going to catch up with us. It's not if, it's when something catches up with us. Say I came back and I wasn't paying attention to my finances. They wouldn't have been getting fixed. Or I wasn't paying attention to my health and I wasn't sleeping or doing the things. I wasn't balancing my recovery. What if I use the excuse I'm working too late, or I focused on my health, so I stopped going to meetings as much? Because in the first couple of years I was here, for sure, I was definitely at the center and I was still going to GA meetings a lot more frequently. And it just became part of the routine and part of the stability of balance. And I remember having a conversation with the VP that was there when I started. And I said to him, you shouldn't give up vacation time or, do extra hours. I was like, you don't get that back and you diminish your worth by doing that. If you have a salary and the salary is for an average of 40 to 50 hours a week and you start working 60 or 70, you're diminishing your value. So what was the point of working that hard to get to that position in the first place? So I recognized that. And that was one of the striving factors to help me keep balance. I knew that was important. And that was even, the first couple of years is when I was in a relationship, a long distance relationship. So that was another thing to try to balance. And I'll tell you, it's funny. I was a good sport about it, but I used most of my vacation time to go see him. So I wasn't even balancing my recreation at that point. Like I wasn't getting real vacations in and doing a lot of solo stuff. So that needed to be balanced. Now, God forbid I ever start dating again. I don't really know how to balance in a guy, if I'm being brutally honest with myself. So until I figure out how to balance being an entrepreneur, being in recovery, living my dream, doing my classwork, writing my books, learning the new stuff, until I figure out how to balance all that, I don't think I can add another thing. It's still important to me to get sleep. It's still important to me to use the money for the business. All those things are priorities for me. So, and that's a point too I want you to take away is there are going to be things that throw you out of balance. Last year was a crazy year. I mean, we're still in the midst of some things. Money and household stuff can be a challenge if there's, if you've lost your job or something's different, or if you're still gambling, or if the gambling is impacting relationships. You're going to have to find your way for your balance. You could be not gambling and still not have balance, by the way. It all depends on what you know and what you prioritize. You may not even know that you're off balance because you might not have ever thought about it. So that's what I would challenge you with today is to give it some thought. Are you in balance? Are you comfortable? Are you working on all the things? Or it doesn't even have to be at the same time. So for example, because I'm working on learning the things I'm trying to learn and to grow, the VA business and to grow myself in this digital space that I'm now living in. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know. I'm not doing as good of a job with exercising. I'm just not. And the freaking winter kills me. Even though Karen and I we probably walk a solid 3 days a week, even in the winter. I mean, today it was 20 something, I think, and we were out there walking. So we do it. Yesterday we didn't because there was snow, but literally there's a gym. Like I walk out my apartment 10 feet and there's a little gym here in the building. I have no excuse not to. I don't even have to go anywhere. I have a trampoline in my apartment. I have a yoga mat. There's no excuses, but I'm not doing a good job of balancing that. I've been slipping on my meditation. And again, my effort has been, I'm still exerting as much effort. It's just shifting. So I'm not balanced right now. I'm lopsided. And I tend to do that. I tend to batch things or change focuses. So maybe the balance isn't necessarily balancing every day, working on 10 different things. Maybe it's focusing on a couple things that you need to catch up on in order to create balance. So I want you to think about that a couple different ways. I am going to balance myself, or when I get back tomorrow, I have balanced work and social life and travel by going to Kansas. It's important to me that I hang out with my friends, and it made me sad last year that I wasn't around for the Super Bowl with my people that taught me sports. So even that is a balance. Not being able to read all the books I want to, and that's why I love all this car time, is so that I can digest all this information that I want to get in, because I can't balance it and figure it out in the day. If I was walking on the treadmill, I could be listening to the books. Don't think that thought has eluded me. I've just been a bit lazy on it, if I'm being honest. So that's some of my balancing thoughts. I hope that you'll take a look and see if you are off balance or in balance. I hope that you can find whatever needs to work and find a way to create that balance if you're lacking it. All right, beautiful people. It's the day I will ask you to please subscribe, rate the podcast, review it. Reviews would be really helpful. I actually saw, all right, I'll tell you, I think I was talking about lying on yesterday's show. I'm in these podcast groups, right? And someone switched the name of one of the groups that I was in, and they turned it around, and now it's they're selling. So I could pay X amount of dollars a month to get people to subscribe and like and leave reviews. I don't want to pay people to leave reviews because they're just people leaving reviews. They're doing it because they're doing it. I'm asking you to do it to give me feedback. If it's not a great review because you want me talking about something else, or you want to give me feedback so that I can make the show better, I'm on point. I'll take a bad review just as much as a good review, because it's a learning opportunity. If you're with me all the time and you enjoy the show, please just take a couple minutes and just write a note. Like it, don't like it, whatever. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I also am not going to be dishonest and pay for someone to give me reviews. I just don't think that's the right way to do it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents and my full transparency as always. All right, beautiful people. I can't wait now I can wait because I want to go have fun, but I will be back with you tomorrow, and I will catch you up on my trip and the lessons I learned. Who knows? Maybe I'll record some stuff on the road if I'm learning and afraid I'll forget by the time we get back to my desk. All right, beautiful people. I love you. Talk to you soon.